Box Hill back after a successful trip to Penguin. Reedy over the top of Ramsden for the first touch. It's Fogarty in his 50th VFL game this afternoon, kicking it inside 50. Payer, confirmation he's returned to terra firma after that hanger against the Tigers last week at Icon Park, is involved in an early skirmish. Reedy slaps it forward. He'll do the lion's share of the ruck work after Flynn Riley, of course, made his AFL debut last night in place of a former Hawk, Mark Pitnett. And didn't Flynn Riley, the mid-season rookie draft selection, one of 11 out of the VFL, acquit himself magnificently, including that spectacular opening quarter goal. No surprise, second Sunday of July in Melbourne. There's quite the breeze. You'll hear it through our effects mic all afternoon. It's going to, you'd imagine, mean we see a fair bit of play on the broadcast. Typically the outer side of the ground here at Box Hill City Oval, Damien, but with the redevelopment in full swing, been repositioned.
That's it. And I'm sure it'll look splendid. There's a fair patronage of supporters on the outer side with the balcony. And looking forward to seeing what the Hawks can produce today, I'm sure, the home supporters. Thrown in, Ramsden wins it down. Quick snap from Young around the corner towards full forward. It's touch through. Ramsden getting back to get a hand in and through for a minor score. So the first score of the game going the way of the Blues. They're one behind. Box Hill yet to score. And see a bit of a swirly breeze around the ground. Nothing too significant. We've seen worse at this ground over the years. A chance for the Hawks to bring it back in through Perez, who goes long. A whistle off the play here. And it looks like it's a Box Hill free kick. It's going to go the way of Nairn. Between half-back and centre wing. He'll go short to De Clace, the former Werribee player. He's got it right in front of our commentary position. Blues have brought numbers back. He's going to retreat back to Bodie Ryan, who's been a consistent defender so far this season. And now Sofronides on the outer side.
So the Hawks in transition. He wasn't able to clasp the mark. Hawks get their first meaningful entry of the afternoon. Popped over the top by Beattie. McGuinness running out of room was Farrah. Gave it back to McGuinness, who sliced it to De Clace, who continued to run the line of that wing, but ball had a little bit too much on it in the end and will be thrown in northern end of Box Hill City Oval. Some hardy souls ringing the 2/3 of the ground that's available for patrons, many taking refuge in the pavilion at the Whitehorse Road end of the ground. Easy drop. Farrah got it out. Schubert did similar, and Bianco was cut in half in the tackle from the returning Davey. Ball comes inside 50 for the Hawks through Perez. Came off the fist once and twice. Flynn Young's after it, and Carlton are out of harm's way.
Young drills it, but just couldn't quite find the target at the end. Kept it low and just didn't get enough leverage on the kick. So it's intercepted in the end. Ryan, who goes out wide. And the mark taken probably about just inside the 50, probably about 45 metres out from goal, but it is a cute angle to contend with. A big opportunity for the Hawks for their first major. In the arms of Beattie. In fact, it's McLaughlin who's got it. Roddy McLaughlin. He's a consistent goal scorer, has been at this level for some time. 36 coming into this game, the competition leader. Gets plenty of penetration on the kick, but it's going across the face of goal. And a good mark taken by Ramsden just inside the field of play, adjacent to the behind post. He just read the flight of the ball the better. Will he go around with the snap or go with the conventional check side? Max Ramsden, as we know, is a good ruckman come forward. He'll swing around on the left and he curls it through superbly. Box Hill have first blood via Max Ramsden. What's the advantage of getting your tall blokes at the teeth of goal? And really, he took it somewhat uncontested in that situation. There wasn't a lot of aerial opposition. So Max Ramsden with the Hawks first. course, Box Hill with 7 AFL listed inclusions into today's lineup. Cal Shadir, Finn McGuinness, Flynn Perez, Bodie Ryan, James Blank, Max Beattie. You heard get a bit of the footy, was taken at pick 12 in the mid-season rookie draft from Woodville West Torrens, so they've got some good experience in that Box Hill lineup today.
Just starting to get some tracks of that Box Hill mud emerging underneath in the centre circle. One of the few grounds where we've still got cricket in operation. Fogarty another clearance to the drop zone for Payer. Strong fist on it from Putris. Bianco goes to ground to apply the tackle. Our umpires this afternoon, Lachlan Coyne, Emile Morvell and Jonathan Clark in the 20. Man to throw this up and telling everybody that it'll be tracking a path west out of the stoppage. Beautifully read. Circling away was Leray, who's shook off that concussion. Farah was out of space. We've lost one Farah from the contest. Liam Farah, who kicked 3 for Carlton last week, out concussed, unfortunately, but Tom Farah, off a neat showing in Tassie last week, holds his place.
So throw in. Right in front of the new redevelopment. Rams have maybe got a slight wind down. McGuinness hacks it out of the congestion, but it's going to be intercepted for the Blues. Good mark taken there by Sammartino. Thought was very good at various stages last week. Sard going to be run down. Maybe just got a kick away. Lucas Camporelli with a hand pass to Boyd. Sweeps it over the top. Chance now for Logan. Boyd was felled after he got rid of it. Advantage paid. Kick by Logan up towards left half forward. Payer the target. It's converged upon by 3 Hawks. And it's fisted over the boundary line. The Blues looking to really make a statement today. We know it's quite a bit of a logjam, Nigel, in the middle of the Smithies VFL table. So every game at a premium at this point of the season. Throw in just outside the attacking 50 for the Blues. Contesting is Reedy for the Blues. He's slightly won it down. It comes to Ramsden, though. His direct opponent for the moment. Tries to sweep the hand pass over the top. Fogarty involved, gets it out. Chance now for Ben Camporelli, twisting and turning. Hoists it high inside the 50 for the Blues. O'Keefe was caught behind. Was he shepherded off the play? The umpire says yes. So it'll be a free kick for the big man, Hudson O'Keefe, directly in front. Probably only about 25 to 30 metres out. We know what a dangerous player he is, Nige, just as a tall focal point up forward.
Revealed in Damien Trustlove's coaching report on the Carlton website, the nickname of Skull.
Yes.
You could see the football clubs are continuing to get creative when it comes to dishing out the nicknames for their players.
Wonder if he has the similar sense of humour as Kerry O'Keefe. I don't know if he does. He's quite unique, but O'Keefe, big focal point up forward for the Blues. Can he kick their first major of the game? 25 out, directly in front. Makes no mistake. The Blues are on the board. So Hudson O'Keefe kicking the Blues first. Obviously, they've had other goal scorers. Jack Eisen, who's made his way to the AFL lineup, made a big impact as far as goal scoring is concerned at VFL level earlier this year. Ashton Boyer as well. We know what he could do in terms of miraculous play. But O'Keefe, a tall figure up forward. That's the thing, as a big key forward, you don't necessarily have to take a mark. If you're a threat and it goes long and deep, if you play in front, it can sometimes attract a free kick.
12-12 in the VFL this year for Hudson O'Keefe. Jamie O'Henry's having his first dalliance in the ruck. Reedy maintains his presence, and that presence provides another centre clearance for Fogarty in his milestone match. Moira will elect to stay down. Who's at the fall? Mainly Hawks. And will be shuffled wide. Bianco eventually is the man to kick. On the left, it'll slide towards the line. There's a tangle of feet, and Jordan Boyd dealt with his opponent there in Keller in no uncertain terms. There was no free kick for Box Hill. There is, though, for the former Dog, who kicked a major last week. Up goes Moyer. He couldn't come down with it, though. And that meant Liam Reedy was the collateral damage, copping a full knee from his teammate in 43. So Carlton again, metres from their goal as they search to extend the margin. Reedy grabs it from the ruck. He had easy access. And Carlton moved to 2-1-13. Box Hill are a goal as we strike 10 minutes.
They get around him too. Good crafty play from the big man. Just took it out of the ruck and was able to swing round with great dexterity and snap it through. How about the leap from Moyer originally in that passage? He's got a real spring on him as a big man. And really that passage of play started through Boyd winning that free kick just in that half-forward flank for the Blues. It's a player that can find space, he can apply the pressure, can go up the ground. Don't mind the new hairstyle as well. He's got a bit of Ryan Houlihan early 2000s about him, Nige, with the blonde hair and the long sleeves.
Probably a bit of a reach, Damien, but anyway.
So back in the middle. Reedy takes it out of the ruck, gives it off to Fogarty. Quick hands into the path of Lucas Camporelli. He's got it on centre wing. Left foot kick into the path there of the intended target in Gresham. That support through Hogg, who's got the long sleeves on today. Hands it back to Fogarty. Quick hands, Prout. Back to Hogg in a confined space. Drills it inside the 50. It's a low darting kick towards Payer. Couldn't quite take it on the half volley. Walks away through Perez. Hands it back to Bianco. Was very good against Tasmania last week. Ends up with Ryan, who just hacks it on the boot towards the outer side. The Hawks able to clear for the agency of Blank, who goes towards centre wing. Bouncing footy. Well done from Deere. And look at this, Brodie McLaughlin all on his own. Takes the mark, can waltz into the open goal, has a casual bounce and puts it through for the Hawks. Good response from Box Hill. They go coast to coast, and Brodie McLaughlin, after having a sit shot earlier this time, has an easier opportunity to waltz in and kick the Hawks second, and it's a 1-point ball game.
And a milestone, that major for Brodie McLaughlin. He's 250th at VFL level. What a tenure it's been across originally Frankston, time on North Melbourne's VFL list. Of course, part of the Gold Coast Suns' inaugural VFL premiership. Williamstown, where he starred last season, and of course now having made his way to Box Hill. Of course, off the back of a shot at an SSP with Hawthorn over the summer, and still harbour ambitions, no doubt, that he can find his way on to an AFL list at some stage again. Carlton, yet another clearance out of the middle to Payer, looking for a handball target to come through the lane. There's none forthcoming, so Leray goes the handball, but it was largely to space, grass, and eventually Young, who snaps instinctively, and that's why he's on an AFL list. Brilliant goal, brilliant response. Carlton having no problem kicking goals to the Whitehorse Road end. They are 3-1-19. The Hawks without a blemish, but just the two majors themselves so far.
It's a quintessential Fling Young goal, isn't it? Snapping it round the corner. Finding a bit of space opportunistically. And the Blues regain that advantage, that little buffer that they've established. Even with the wet conditions, seen some relatively good free-flowing footy so far. It'll be interesting to see whether that can hold up throughout the game, whether there's further rain forecast. Back in the middle, Blues by 7 points. O'Keefe palming it down. Akers goes off the deck. Gets a little bit of territory into the favour of Davey. Inside the 50 go the Blues. Oh, how about that from Payer? Lurched it in with the one hand and takes the mark. He can line up for about 38 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Well, it's the advantage of winning the clearances. Akers getting a little boot to it. They immediately put the Box Hill defence under pressure. Payer, former Werribee player, of course. He's got flashy boots on. Right behind this one. He's hooked it to the left, and only a minor score for the Blues. 3-2-20, Box Hill 2 straight 12. A couple of repeat inside 50 entries for Carlton, as Ryan prepares to bring it back into play for the Hawks.
He heads for the Middleborough Road side of the ground, and in the fingertips. Enough on that for Aidan Schubert to claim the prize. An impressive start to his time on the Hawks list he's made. Not so much with that kick, though, that Williams was able to read better than Deere. Essentially for Akers. What a shot in the arm for Damien Trusloff to have him into the team today. Payer was able to take it away and then pivot clear of Putris. Send it inside 50 for the Blues, who can win the ground skirmish. Strong and athletic tackle was applied by Logan. And locks the ball inside 50 after having the better of Ryan. O'Keefe, who's already got one, couldn't squeeze the kick out of the contest and will be the last man up. So Carlton at VFL level, in the absence of Flynn Riley, having no problems working over Ramsden and co so far. Fogarty with the tackle to lock up Lane Ward. Got just two players. Fogarty, one of them for Carlton, Blank the other for the Hawks, who's back into the team today, who were in the respective sides the last time these teams met at this venue in 2022, which yielded Carlton's only victory so far over Box Hill in the VFL.
See, there were some good battles over the journey as well. They had a season opener a couple of years back where it was less than a kick the difference at the end out at Icon Park. Throw in. Ramsden wins it down. What can the Blues muster here? Logan got the hand pass out. Kick intercepted though by Anderson, who kicks it towards centre wing. Kalshadir in the one-on-one. Usually pretty good aerially. Tries to paddle it along the ground. Can't quite take control. Numbers win out. Bianco. Tackled by Akers. Intercepted. And now the Blues are away on the counter-attack. Here's a chance for Logan. Streaming forward for the Blues. O'Keefe takes it 75 from home. Sizing up the options and waiting for the traffic to pass by. Kick by O'Keefe is deep inside the 50. Flying high, Moyer got a fist to it and forces it out in front of the brethren here at Box Hill City Oval. A lot of brown and gold scarves supporting the home side. Carlton leading by 8 points. We've gone just over 17 minutes in this first quarter.
Ramsden was able to manoeuvre his way to the front, got the fist, and the long sleeves. Darcy Hogg couldn't find a way out to try and engineer Carlton's fourth goal. He's at it again. Tyler Brown flicked a boot at it. And now the Hawks can go. Anderson elects to bounce, which was audacious. Pressure from Akers, and then just clicked a little knuckle onto it. It wasn't originally an opportunity to assemble a possession chain, but ball won at ground level. And eventually emerging from the tangle and able to kick it backwards is Logan. Carlton want to do it horizontally. Mark to Dane Harvey.
Oh.
Confusion though, off the ground. Good play to take some territory from Leray. Cavalry arrived, but Williams dusted it along the ground. Looking to do similar and doing it successfully was Sammartino. And Carlton dodge a brown and gold bullet. 3-2-20, 2 straight 12. We're through 18 and a half.
Jordan Boyd just involved in a bit of a scuffle there. He was shoved into the fence as he went in towards the boundary line. Didn't appreciate the treatment. He's still going at it here. Umpire will just ensure the play goes on. Throw in. One down by Ramsden. Up against O'Keefe, who's come a long way up the ground. Ramsden again hands it back towards Perez on centre wing. Tries to find a teammate there in Baldwin of the Hawks. They forced a retreat territory-wise. Bianco approaching it here. Intercepted by Camporelli. That's of the Bem variety. Hands it over the top to Logan, who's had plenty of it so far. Kick towards Payer at half forward. Falls out the back and goes out of play in front of Blake Akers. And we'll have a throw in on the half forward flank for the Blues. Last time these two sides met, back in round one of last year, it was that match I was referring to, Box Hill defeating the Blues by 4 points at Icon Park. Ashton Moyer, who's out there today, booted 2 for Carlton in that night game.
O'Keefe and Ramsden give that one to Hudson. Bianco was inventive with the kick, but I think in any recent year that was going to be a free kick, typically for deliberate. This time Last disposal means that Camporelli puts it back inside forward 50 for the Blues, but only for a second as Ramsden had folded back. He goes wide and finds Leray, who's having no problems finding the footy in his 9th game for Box Hill. Sold his fellow South Australian Schubert into trouble. Williams, the vision, but not quite the execution to pinpoint his target. But again, another forward 50 clearance opportunity for Carlton. This time it's in the left forward pocket. Damien, we've had most of Carlton's opportunities on the other half of their attacking zone.
Throw in. Wind picked up slightly. O'Keefe shuffled his opponent out of the way and then won the tap out, but Ramsden will win the clearance. Goes along the boundary line. Schubert caught behind. Well done there. Direct opponent in Sammartino to get to the front, cut it off, force it out of play. So it's around 60 metres around from the Carlton goal. Lights coming on here at Box Hill City Oval. It'll be a cloudy day. Right in the heart of Melbourne's winter. Just with the mud patch in the middle. Takes us back to the days of old in the VFA. The old Mustangs, as Box Hill used to be called. Chesser. Charleston got it from Akers. Kicks it long inside the 50 for the Blues. Pack converges. Payer was waiting out the back. Ryan retreats and forces are behind. So they're happy to concede. Carlton now leading by 9 points. 3-2 straight. We'll tick over the 21-minute mark of this first term. Ryan bumps it long. Two big men there, Henry and also Ramsden. Ramsden tapped it down. McGuinness's kick partially smothered. Sammartino with a hand pass into the path of Hogg. Gets a little kick forward towards centre half forward. Sofronides got in the way. Gives it off to Perez. Hands it back, trying to barge his way through the tackle there. Unsuccessfully, Bianco, and it's going to be a free kick to go the way of Carlton. Good pressure applied by Davey. He's going to hand it off to Akers. He likes a long shot at goal, and from beyond the arc, he's hooked the kick, and he just snuck in for a behind. So a minor score again. They are peppering the Blues. Few chances going begging. They're 3-4. Box Hill 2 straight.
First score in 7 minutes of play after quite the flurry early. Flynn Perez takes a sizable chunk of ground with that kick. Ryan had a little flick over the shoulder. Saw that Gresham was in pursuit. Kicks to half forward. Handball didn't quite pinpoint what Brody McLaughlin was after, so the Blues can turn it over. Saad after it. Shapes that ball in neat fashion into the hands of Chesser, patrolling the wing. Charleston lengthening for him at his 11 o'clock. Instead, it's Boyd at the 3. He'll drive deep. Where are Carlton's talls here? It was Payer. But it's all Hawks at ground level. Sofronides through the agency of the Ward. Hand pass. Iffy kick. Served down by Saad. Sliding was McGuinness, and away goes Brown, who checks the kick neatly enough and into the hands of Tom Farah.
Farah waiting for a hand pass option. He had McGuinness, but just missed him with the hand pass. So as a result, the Hawks under pressure. Brown gets a dribbling kick forward. Intercepted for the Blues there, ultimately by Rule, playing against his old side today. Hogg goes in hard for the footy. Comes back out to Rule. Sweeps the hand pass over the top. And now Logan has been patrolling that centre wing very, very well and accumulating plenty of the footy. Goes short. Long kick is deep towards full forward from Charleston. Are going back with the flight. A nice mark. Taken at full forward by Payer. And he can line up from point blank range. Is he going to go around on the angle? It doesn't matter. He's going to step it round the corner, and he pops it through for the Blues. He's been threatening inside that forward 50 for much of the term, and he's now on the score sheet, Sam Payer. And the Blues establishing a good advantage here. They're 4-4. Box Hill 2 straight. It's the old Tommy Hafey adage. Pump it long and deep inside the forward line and put the defenders under pressure. Approaching quarter time here. The Blues, that 16-point lead. They just repelled too easily off half back in the end. So they've got 4 individual goal scorers, the Blues as well. They do like to spread it around. And that's a positive sign in terms of the amount of avenues they've got.
So Sam Payer joins Hudson O'Keefe, Liam Reedy and Flynn Young As the Blues goal kickers, it's Ramsden and McLaughlin thus far for the home side. Pivoting free was McGuinness with a tumbling ball. It checked on its bounce and did Beattie no favours. Heavy collision involving Sard. Lucas Camporeale to brother Ben. Dad Scott's watching on from this wing where play is. Ben to the dashing Boyd. Showed Beattie a clean pair of heels. Not his best effort off the boot, but it got to its intended destination of Paya. Sofronides went to ground. Significantly, Prout didn't. Flying through Perez, now receives, but didn't see Fogarty from the blind side. The Camporeales combine again, and the bounce just evaded Moya alongside his direct opponent of Will Putris, and we'll have the ball thrown in as we approach 26 minutes of our opening term of this round 16 clash at Box Hill City Oval.
Circling around the Crummers. Be Reedy in the ruck for the Blues. Up against Henry. One down by Reedy. Here's Ben Camporeale, hands it off, snap around the body from Prout towards goal, and he pops it through for the Baggers. The fifth individual goal scorer, Logan Prout, adds his name to the tally, and the Blues are on a bit of a heater at the moment. They lead it by 22 points. And again, it's a snap around the corner that leads to a major.
Got the binoculars on Adam Sard getting treated on the Carlton bench at the moment, Damien, and he sort of was looking like a cork more than anything, but it looks like his knee is being assessed at the moment by Carlton's physios. So a watch on that for the Blues veteran, who of course can trace his AFL journey back to his VFL roots of Coburg and a Fothergill round medal before embarking on time with the Suns. Reedy missed it, didn't miss McGuinness. Williams did not miss the Sherrin with one of the better half-volley kicks you're going to see off the ground. Moya nailed the tackle on Griff Julian. Carlton have got the advantage in no uncertain terms, but an advantage they couldn't press home. They'll get yet another forward 50 stoppage in the first quarter with the lights on here at Box Hill City Oval. An attempt in vain, largely, given there's only 6 floodlights per tower. The thought that counts. Julian off the ground. Perez, Henry, tumbling kick. Beattie did well. Got Charleston under it, took the grab. Wide for Anderson. Now some transition opportunities for the Hawks as the rain intensifies. Nan's kick was a floater, but an effective floater. And Nan will get it back via Farah. Box Hill have tracked the width of City Oval to find Dia, who got around Boyd, waited for an option, but sold McGuinness into all manner of trouble. His frame was able to get free of the tackle. A hand in on it. Allows Davey on his return to kick it in to Young, and away go Carlton again.
And now the race is on. Paya against 2 Hawks. Who's going to get there first? Paya does. Was he brought to ground illegally? The umpire blows the whistle and says yes. So Paya, who was against 2, did well to get to the footy first, drew the free kick, and he can line up from probably about 35 metres out. It is an acute angle to contend with. Just going back to Adam Sard, he copped a heavy hip and shoulder, didn't he? And be interesting to see his progress. Paya has kicked one already, proving to be a bit of a handful for the Hawks' defence. Again, on transition, Box Hill struggling to try and clog up the open space inside the 450 for the Blues. So Paya for his second to increase the lead to 28 points. Misses to the right, and only a minor score. So 5-5 to 2 straight here at Box Hill City Oval.
Adam Sard is standing up on the Carlton bench, and at this stage you'd think he's been cleared in his right to return, but we'll wait for more information. Ryan brings it in. Schubert was denied by the Logan fist. Charleston distributing to Fogarty, who's had a prominent role in the opening quarter. Moya stayed down. Right Ryan flew, and it was a 0-all draw. So a late look for Carlton as we hit 30 minutes. Their lead at 23 points. Been winning and losing in blocks this season at VFL level, the Baggers. Trying to muster a couple in a row here as O'Keefe hung on enough, and there was considered to not be a genuine attempt. Flynn Perez isn't happy on Ryan's treatment or the decision. A melee has unfolded, and there's $150 fines being handed out at will right now.
Couple of spot fires too.
Things will eventually clear. Meanwhile, Hudson O'Keefe nudges home his second of the day, and Carlton will head to the quarter-time huddle. Most pleased with how they're dealing with the 9-4 Hawks, who came in to this afternoon's match perched in 4th spot. That right now is in some jeopardy. Scoreboard through 31 minutes, 6-5-41 to 2 straight 12.
It's interesting, isn't it, Nige? I think in the early rounds, Box Hill were considered the main danger to Geelong. We know how Geelong have been this season in terms of consistency as the yardstick in the competition, but that's probably, well, it's definitely changed. You've probably got Werribee in that slot now as the main challenger. Box Hill, if they want to be considered as a genuine premiership contender, they need to be competitive in games such as this.
Tigers, of course, with quite the escape at RSEA Park yesterday afternoon. What a spectacular afternoon we had with the draw at Blacktown between the Seagulls and Sydney, and then what Werribee were able to produce at Moorabbin.
That's it. Kick after the siren. Here's Hogg. Is there one last chance for the Blues potentially before quarter time? Reedy, the big man, trying to barge his way through. There's Lucas Camporelli. Has it stolen from his grasp. Well done, Anderson. Won the hard footy. Kicks it high inside the 50. Where's McLaughlin and co? Williams got to the fore of the ball and hacks it towards centre wing. Blake Acres chases after it. Ward gets there first for the Hawks. Hands it off. He might get it back with the 1-2. And it's punted inside the 50. Going back with the flight rule. Couldn't quite take it for the Blues. Charlson in there. Comes out. Carlton have the numbers across their half-back line. Hogg thought about going with the hand pass, but he chips it out wide. Now Lucas Camporelli chips it over the top. Acres. He's got plenty of space to work with. Steers it towards half forward, and O'Keefe takes the mark. He'll hand it back to Acres, who kept on running. Chips it into an open 50, and the mark taken by Chesser. He's going to take stock and line up from centre half forward. Well, just been so clean on transition off half back and found a number of opportunities inside the 50. So Chesser on the cusp of quarter time. This to make it a 35-point advantage. He'll fancy his chances. He's almost directly in front. As the siren sounds for quarter time, Chesser from 55 metres out. Didn't get enough purchase on the kick. But the Blues will be very, very pleased and satisfied with that first quarter. They establish a 29-point advantage, 6-5-41. Box Hill.
Their buffer at quarter time, but the nature of matches this time of the year, I think we've seen something similar across town this afternoon in the match at Mission Whitten Oval between Frankston and the Bulldogs, where it looked like there was the lion's share of the scoring being done to one part of the ground. Carlton get the initial clearance and pick up from where they left off. O'Keefe, who's got a couple already, was taken in. A tackle by James Blank that wouldn't have looked out of place in the octagon between Conor McGregor and Max Holloway this afternoon. Stoppage on the arc of 50 for Carlton. McGuinness, awkward landing. Ramsden, awkward kick. Lucas Camporelli left it. And wouldn't have mattered little if he took the great mark. And a 50 against Boyd. Free kick will go the way of Keller.
Keller approaches the 70-metre mark for the Hawks. Boyd certainly a little bit exasperated. Keller looking to a very congested 50. He's going to drive it towards full forward. Getting a little hand in there was Chesser. Payer at the back. He's moved into defence to start this second term for the Blues. He's been pretty prodigious in terms of a goal-scoring option in the first quarter. It's Sofronides who gets it back, and Keller ends up with it once again. Just forward of centre for the Hawks. Hands it off. Probing kick inside the 50. Goes long from Ramsden towards full forward. Snap around the corner has gone into the behind post. It was a good chase and tackle there from Charlton to affect the kick. And it's out on the full. That one coming off the boot there of Nairn. So be brought back into play. Payer with a scraggy old kick. Fogarty gets the hand pass off to Akers. Combines with Reedy with the 1-2. Now hands it off to Davey. We know he can run. Takes a bounce. Arches it back. A second bounce. Runs to the 50. Davey for goal. Unguarded square. Bounces it through. Electric stuff from Davey. Oh, what a story that is. Owen Davey making his Carlton debut, kicks his first goal in Carlton colours, and they get around him, and the Blues continue the avalanche here at Box Hill City Oval. Well, how many times has a goal been scored in that sort of fashion, where there's space out the back for the Blues inside that attacking 50? They're very quick to transition the ball from one side of the ground to the other.
And dealing with the double-edged sword that is footy at the moment. The Davey twins. Jaden, unfortunately, another ACL, the third of his career so far. So he's done for season 2026. Allen making his return this afternoon. Having played 10 games at Old Zavs this year in the amateurs. He played 10 in a couple of seasons each when on the Bombers list. Well, Williams, it was more conventional this time, but an equal slice of territory to that kick off the ground in the opening quarter. Perez shed it to Ryan, who gazes forward, heads for the wing, got it over Reedy at least, and found Keller. Anderson slams it on the left. Out the back is Deer. Saad trying to hang off him, and Adam just couldn't keep a grip on Kalsha. Box Hill with their first major since Brodie McLaughlin at the 12-minute mark of the opening quarter, and it breaks a run of not just 5 unanswered goals for Carlton, but that Brodie McLaughlin major was the last time that the Hawks had scored. Kalsha Deers on the board this Sunday afternoon. Box Hill to 3 straight, Carlton 7-5.
Kalsha Deer, Nigel, it's been an interesting talking point, isn't it, whether he can get back into that AFL side on a more consistent basis. We know he had a very good 2024 year at AFL level. Obviously got the height ability, good aerial marking ability as well. And that time, I guess in a positive sense, he used his physicality in order to kick the goal. So back in the middle, margin at the ground currently at 29 points. Ramsden wins it down. Good pirouette there from Ben Camporelli. Hands it off to Reedy, who wins the clearance for the Blues. High inside the 50. Will the mark be paid and or free kick to Julian? I think it will be. Chopping of the arms. Julian goes out wide. Can the Hawks use that last goal as a bit of a linchpin for them? Ward on the outer side goes short. And I think they're happy to methodically chip the ball around. Kick inboard is going to be intercepted. Moyer receives from Fogarty. Gets the hand pass off. Chance now for Young. Can't quite break the tackle. It was a good chase from Nairn and holding the footy. Well, they do say goals lift sides, and so do 1%ers. And that could have been a goal-saving tackle for the Hawks. Nairn goes out wide. Charlton with the fist. It'll trickle towards the boundary line. Still in play, this footy. Charlton with another good tackle, but the Hawks have the numbers. Bianco sweeps it out wide. Hawks are away towards centre wing. Now, is it going to be a Lasso free kick? I think it will be, so it's going to go the way of the Blues to be taken on the outer side, ultimately by Harvey. It goes back to Saad. Good to see him back on the ground.
It is after that knee scare. He does have tape above and below the knee on his left leg. Akers with the customary tape on the shoulders. Heads for Reedy v Ramsden. As the rain goes up a gear, Reedy tried to fling it, but could only find Beattie to Bianco. Davey was at teasing distance, but couldn't tease Julian enough to make an error in flight. If Julian's really bedded down a spot in this Box Hill team this season, that kick will help, but the fist of Chesser to the face of Beattie won't help Max Beattie on a cold Sunday afternoon. Boy from Wodonga. It's up Anderson, who's got a runner. It's Ward. He bunny hopped his way inside. Brown versus Fogarty. Fogarty got to it and got yet another touch to Chesser. Now to Young, looking inboard. Precision for Moyer. Juggling was Ben Campriali. Williams. Now to Lucas Campriali, who's got Boyd flashing through on the driver's side. Look at that kick from Jordan Boyd. All Logan had to do was gleefully accept it into the stomach. And Taj Logan, who's got 2-2 for the season and would have faced plenty of this weather playing up at Diamond Creek. The hardest part of this kick is going to be the breeze. Not that the trees in the background of the shot are going to tell you much of a story, but it's blowing into and across him. So left post is his main destination on the kick. Breeze helps him in no way, shape or form. Box Hill looking to clear, but not out of danger yet. Logan will get another look. He'll try and turn creator for the speedy, industrious Williams. Kick was to the right spot, but Ramsden got where he needed to, and there's a bit happening off the footy.
Had a few scuffles today, haven't we? Ramsden goes towards left half back. Schubert against two. Couldn't take the mark. Lucas Campriali gets the hand pass out. Falls to Hogg. He's stripped of the footy. Charlson in there. Well done from Anderson. Won the hard footy again with the steal, but he's wrapped up by Williams. Comes out to Rule. Kicks smothered by his own teammate in Charlson. Comes back out to Logan. Feeds it off to Lucas Campriali. Left foot kick inside the 50. Bit of a probing one. Reedy got the fist in. O'Keefe was down there as well, but the Hawks have brought numbers back. Here's Blank at left half back. Blank kicks it high towards centre wing, and precision with that ball movement, and McLaughlin takes the mark. Brady McLaughlin has kicked a goal already today, 37 for the season. Drives it long towards half forward. Deer flies, couldn't take the mark, and is probably infringed in the process. And he gives away the free kick. It'll be taken by Harvey.
You know, Kai de Clace is done for the day. He's just come to the Box Hill bench in a moon boot. Sort of ankle or calf being assessed in the opening quarter after his issues. Harvey's kick to centre wing. Got through the hands of Ryan, and James Blank can take it to the line.
That's the thing about this type of weather. When it becomes more and more physical, you become more susceptible to injuries as a team.
Game 4 of the season for James Blank. He's had shoulder and hamstring issues to try and shake off. Of course, the ACL in 2024. Box will get the clearance. Boyd was prepared to let it bounce, but flying through and getting a high one for his troubles was Baldwin. Ball gets to the line and out, so wind intensifying, and with it, it's bringing a good spray of rain across Box Hill City Oval. Margin at 29 points as it was at quarter time. Both teams with a goal apiece in the opening quarter. And that ball's going to drop vertical when it loses its velocity from the throw-in as it goes into the breeze. Williams, Reedy, Hogg, Fogarty. Just missed the intended target of Akers. Sofronides, hand in from the extension cord that is the arms of O'Keefe. Tyler Brown after it. Whizzing one along the ground. Charlson did well to slide and clasp. Campriali, Fogarty, Gresham met solidly and is none too happy with what he copped from Cody Anderson. Meanwhile, Carlton inside 50, O'Keefe with the mark. And that happened right in front of us, Damien. Cody Anderson packs quite the punch with his frame. Gresham felt all of it, but credit to him for getting the kick to O'Keefe.
And he got straight up as well and flew the flag for himself. A couple of teammates still trying to fly the flag for him, getting stuck into Anderson. Well, they'll get the last laugh. They get a goal out of this, the Blues. As you said, Nigel got the kick away. And again, too much space for those Blues forwards to work with.
Hudson O'Keefe has kicked 2 twice this year. He kicked 3 in round 6 last year against Coburg. Again, left post. Ball goes the opposite direction. Who knows what Melbourne's weather's doing? The hyphen takes the mark.
I think you could say that every day, I reckon, when it comes to Melbourne's weather. Henry in the back pocket. Drives it towards right half back. Getting a fist in there was Rule. Good to see him playing against his old side today. Boyd, high kick inside the 50 for the Blues. Henry going back with the flight. Couldn't take the mark. Prout was there. Free kick. I think it's gone against Moyer, and the advantage paid. Ryan, a slight fumble. Held his composure well. Gives it off to Henry. Perez. Now Ryan. The main defenders combine. He's going to transfer play towards the broadcast side here. Long kick by Perez out wide. Going back with the flight. No mark taken there by Leray, but he had time to follow up and recover. Hands it off to Farah. Back to Leray. Sweeps it out towards the path of Sofronides, who takes it on the bounce. Drills it inside the 50. Big spoil there from Sard. Did well. Got the second hand in. Harvey fires it off. Sammartino broke the tackle. Hands it back. Rule just hacks it on the boot. Well done there from Blank to make a contest. Blues have the numbers. Fogarty hands it off, combining with Gresham. Combined with Akers with the 1-2. Underground hand pass, clever. Fogarty back to Gresham. He's copped another heavy hit. They're targeting him here. Laray's got it for the Hawks. Drives it long inside the 50. Hooks it in towards the pocket over the head of McLaughlin. And it bounces out of play.
Blake Akers and Jordan Boyd are after Baldwin, who was the one to dish out the sequel to the Anderson punishment on Gresham.
Credit to Gresham, he's got back up. He's not going to get deterred.
He'd be forgiven for thinking that 78 on his back is a bullseye. We've got a discrepancy in the score. So scoreboard here at Box Hill City Oval has it 47-18. AFL app you're watching through has the Blues with an extra point. That'll get cleaned up at halftime one way or another. Chimney kick, McInnes, Gresham. That time an uncontested ball after it was hit forward by O'Keefe. Akers over the line, and a bit of an aftermath with Trent Bianco, who wants the lasso free kick, and his pleas will fall on deaf ears.
Rain starting to increase here at the ground. Wonder how intense it'll eventually be. Throw in. One down by O'Keefe. Follows up again. Roves his own footy. Hands it off to Akers. Got Fogarty as a hand pass option, but he elects to go with a long kick. Moyer in the one-on-one. Well done, Sofronides. Got him from the side. Prout's kicked the goal already. Can't quite pick the ball up. Shuffled it out. Kick by Gresham is smothered. Spills to Lucas Camporiali. Fires off the hand pass. Farah tries to ride the tackle. Prout. Good second effort. Comes to Perez, who just hacks it on the boot, gaining territory for the Hawks. Goes over the head of Anderson. Saab will meet it on the half volley. Sweeps the hand pass over the top to Akers. Slight fumble. Goes back in after it and gets it. Sard receiving the hand pass. Williams, good fend off. Feeds it back. Sammartino spirals it high, hoisting it towards centre half forward. O'Keefe camped underneath it. Good spoil from Perez at the back. At the forward of the ball, Ben Camporelli gets a little kick forward, and Logan takes it. Hands it off towards O'Keefe along the ground. He fumbles. Schubert gets the hand pass off, and Farah away for the Hawks.
What can they generate? We haven't had a major in 10 minutes. Deer flies to create the contest on Payer, who's gone behind the footy. McLaughlin after it. Normally crafty in these situations. Clearing kick that'll put the ball back in Hawk hands. Came from Jed Rule. As mentioned, played 8 games with Box Hill. Returning to VFL this season, and his second game for Carlton today. McLaughlin brought it down. Sammartino. That tells you all you need to know about the wind. Taking his medicine in the Camporiali tackle was Will Keller, the 23rd player for Box Hill this afternoon. Originally from Queanbeyan and the Giants Academy, but playing his football locally with Mitcham.
Yes, here's McInnes. Finds a way through. Schubert couldn't quite take the mark. Now Payer takes a bounce. Will drive it long towards right half back. Sammartino drops the mark. Prout affecting a bit of pressure. Fires off the hand pass. Proud almost at his jumper ripped off. Good tackling there from Bianco. That goes over the boundary line. Yes, Mitcham, I think they might have been coached from memory by Johnny Howard back in the day, who used to play for Richmond. And Gary Bacanara's son used to play there as well. He was a great Hawk back in the day. Great memories of the 87 prelim final for Hawks fans watching. Of course, starting an 86 grand final win over the Blues as well. Here's Williams, wrapped up by Henry. He's not going anywhere. So scoring understandably stifled given the inclement weather coming in, Nige. I wonder if it'll be more of the same before half-time and maybe a shorter quarter as a result.
Yeah, can't say we're in the best possible vantage point, Damien, given how the weather and the rain is trending. McLaughlin, all class again. He's got a couple and continuing to stay at the front of the Frosty Miller medal race. He came into the day with 36.20 for the season. He has 2 already through a quarter and a half. Corey Ellison kicking 3 across town this afternoon for Frankston in their win over the Dogs to stay in the race. More importantly, from a Box Hill collective point of view, they have their 4th of the day. They are unblemished so far. They're still 4 goals adrift, though, of Carlton as we're nudging our way towards the 18-minute mark of the second quarter.
Not a day conducive to high marking, so be happy with his contribution so far, McLaughlin, with a couple of goals. And all of a sudden, the Box Hill Hawks just getting a little bit of a sniff. Certainly not insurmountable at this point. They've gained further territory wins as well. O'Keefe wins it down for the Blues, contesting at the centre bounce now. Good tackle from Ward for the Hawks on Chesser. And we'll have a secondary ball up. And the rain continuing to come down. Getting a nice shower ourselves. Henry wins it down. Ward, gang tackled. Comes out the Hog. Little kick to centre half forward. Sofronides gets to the front spot. Tries to lurch down and pick the ball up. Still he goes, Sofronides. Good second effort. Still alive football. Spills out towards Akers. What can Blake Akers do here? 40 out, off the deck he goes towards full forward. Bianco. Well, Logan, that almost came off his boot, and I think he's kicked an industrious and very, very inventive goal. How about that? Logan, I think he intercepted it with his foot. It came into his hands, and then he got boot the ball right on the goal line, and it's been paid. Well, you don't often see that. It was Akers who got it off the ground, and in these sort of conditions, Nige, it's all about territory. You got it forward, and you apply enough pressure on the last line of defence for your opposition, can create an error and an opportunity for yourself.
Good response for Carlton after Box Hill had kicked 2 in a row for the first time this afternoon. Taj Logan onto the scoreboard. And the Blues back out with the margin in the vicinity of 5 goals. Fogarty has had a monster opening half in his 50th VFL game to go close to near 100 at AFL level. Charlson sliding through for the receive. Davey in the right spot, as was Flynn Young with an Isaac Rankin-like crumb from last night, and the finish to match. He might not have Isaac Rankin's pay packet, but that's as good a crumb as we saw from the Crows' Magic Man against the Suns last night. A replica. Worked his way across the front of the pack. Snapped it in magical fashion on the left. And Carlton lay a couple of blows on Box Hill in quick succession and take it out to a game-high 35-point lead.
That's another typical Flynn Young goal. He loves the snap. Coming to the front and centre position. He swung it round, and I think you knew as soon as the ball went on the boot, he was primed. And a very good goal in wet conditions in particular. So the Blues again careering ahead. Back in the middle. Taken out of the ruck by Reedy almost contemptuously. Hacks it on the boot inside the 50. Bouncing footy, palmed down by Young. Quick hand pass comes out towards Lucas Camporelli. That was from Gresham. Eventually it comes to Fogarty. Hacks it inside the 50 for the Blues. Going back with the flight. That's a very good mark. And very, very timely pressure that was applied as well. Good Good mark taken there by Ward, who goes into the middle of the ground. Here's Sofronides. Kicks it towards centre half forward. Ramsden caught behind. Trying to barge his way there. Through for the Blues was Sammartino. Reedy, quick give to Sard. Again, just gaining territory with a high kick. And it's intercepted in the mark. Taken there by Putris. That's centre half back for the Hawks.
They need to find some answers, and quick, smart. It's not insurmountable, but they wouldn't want to concede the next one. Charlton to Sard. Came out of the hands of Julian. Sofronides. Bianco. Julian. Everything is forced and under pressure for Box Hill. Gresham received. Gave it off to Reedy. Always going to be a hard task with the power and the lower centre of gravity of Cody Anderson. So he sticks the tackle. Liam Reedy's got to be careful that he doesn't give away 50 here. In fact, just for pure smart arsery, it probably should have been. Cody Anderson going to try and take Reedy on the mark. He saw him off. He gets to 50. But the velocity meant that the accuracy was diminished. Anderson misses. Margins 35, almost 23 gone in the second.
It'll be Sard to bring it back in for the Blues. Getting better as the game goes on. Looks for Prout. Good spoil there from Putris, who's come onto the ground just in the last few minutes. Had a few decent moments against Tasmania in defence in their last match, which was a tight, hard-fought contest. And it'll be interesting to see how much he can contribute as well. Aidan Schubert, who kicked 3 goals in that game against Tasmania, hasn't been cited too much today. Throw in. Bit of a shallow throw in. Reedy palmed it. Gresham with the hand pass, straight into a brick wall. In goes Ben Camporelli. Bit of a pinball machine in there. Henry comes over the top. McGuinness locks it in. And we'll have a ball up. On true centre wing, Middleborough Road side of the ground here at Box Hill City Oval. Hope you're enjoying it on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. Tucked up in home if you're in Melbourne, I'm sure. These ruckmen go at it. Reedy and Henry. It's like Steins and Madden back in the day.
Free kick to the Hawks. Henry, who's honing his craft with East Ringwood in the Eastern Football League alongside his time at Box Hill. Got it to half forward, but Charlton gets it out. Reedy was looking to let out his frustration, and he let it out in a free kick against Bodie Ryan. So big fella's got to take a chill pill. Ryan puts the Hawks into attack. Deer was highest. Nan was lowest. Hand in from Rule. Gets some defensive adulation. And that is Box Hill's first minor score of the afternoon. It comes almost 25 minutes into the second.
Rule performed like a goalkeeper there, getting that hand on it. Almost tapping it over the crossbar. Boyd thumps it long. Payer couldn't quite take the mark. Ryan at the full of the ball. Gets the hand pass out in a confined space. Lucas Camporelli keeps it in on the left foot. Pops it up towards centre wing. Through the hands of Payer. Tough one to mark in these conditions. Putris. Gang tackle to the turf. And we'll have a ball up. Moyer coming a fair way up the ground. They've left space out the back here, the Blues. Davey is sort of lurking around that half-forward line. If they can get into space, he can be dangerous. One down by Ramsden. Tries to hand it to McGuinness. Ended up into the hands of Hogg, who hacks it on the boot. Perez in the road for the Hawks. Drives it high towards centre half forward. Courage needed by Rule here. Nan gets the hand pass off. Chance for Beattie. Thumped forward there by McLaughlin. Still alive football. McGuinness was waiting for it. Comes out. Anderson, was that a throw? I think it is. Free kick. Rule hands it off. And now Lucas Camporelli, Ben Camporelli, they all combine here, the Blues.
Overzealous, but Rule along the ground. Only as far as Ramsden. He had a short target on in Baldwin. Instead goes deeper. At the drop, it's Anderson. Agile initially and gets a high one. the Box Hill supporters on both ground and first floor of the pavilion applaud. Cody Anderson, who's been right in the centre of a couple of aggressive interactions this afternoon. Sammartino's got a blood rule, so he's going to come off the ground. So we'll be in delay for the time being until Sammartino's replacement, which is Blake Acres, can get himself in a position, a chance for the Blues to flip the magnets a bit. Logan's going to come and have a spell also.
Zach Williams coming back onto the ground for the Blues along with Chesser.
So Cody Anderson to shoot for goal at the 27-minute mark. 3 goals against the Tigers in round 8. 2 on 4 occasions this season. He's got 14-13 for the year. Another well-versed with playing in chilly conditions. Boy from Hillsville made his way to the Hawks as an NGA. Has got it. And Box Hill have their 5th. And they get themselves back within half of Carlton's 9-5-59.
Good kick off the boot, particularly in these conditions with the rain's coming down. I know to the naked eye it looks like a pretty basic set shot, but with a bit of a swirly breeze and the rain pelting down. Good effort. And as you said, Nige, he's a player that can bob up, kick 2 or 3 goals a game. Very physical at the contest. He's a player, I reckon the sort of player that coaches really like, as long as they don't overstep the mark. Good hard ball winner, Cody Anderson. Love to be in Hillsville today, wouldn't you? So back in the middle, on the cusp of half-time. The Blues still with a handy advantage. Maybe a bit of momentum coming into the major break for the Hawks. Ramsden wins it down. Beattie overran it. And pass back from Acres towards Boyd. Almost stripped of the footy. And umpires picked out a free kick. It's going Boyd's way. And he's just imploring his teammates to slow things down. Maybe they'll play kick to kick. Goes to his lookalike in Rule. Rule on centre wing. Goes long in the Reedy direction. Couldn't take the mark. Hard up against the boundary line. Kick forward by Julian along the boundary line. Williams just come back onto the ground. Kicks it along the line and finds Reedy. Good strong mark. The big lumbering big man. Again, just slowing the traffic down. They want to conserve at least before half-time. Maybe they'll get a scoring opportunity themselves. Davies lurky at the back. It's fisted over the line. Perez getting to the front spot. And coming behind there was Ramsden, so we'll have a throw in inside the attacking 50 or on the half-forward flank here for the Blues.
3 goals apiece in the second quarter after Carlton led 6 goals to 2 at quarter time. Kick 4 of those in a row, then kick the opening goal of this second quarter through the returning Alwyn Davey. Lucas and Ben couldn't combine once again. Along the ground, Boyd. Cleared out of there by Box Hill, but the defensive shape was in place for Carlton, and Prout has it. The obvious option at this stage of the half is Adam Sard, who can let the game come to him. Blank down the line and provided protection for Ramsden to take another intercept mark. It's been the most impressive aspect of his game through quarters 1 and 2. Keeps it on the same line of play. Dee was pushed under it by the smaller Prout. And the Hawks are going to get a late look. Dee's got Perez in, and time was against Cal Shadir, whose spiral will count for little. So we'll have confirmation one way or another of the exact score once the...
About to get underway in the second half. It's Carlton leading the Box Hill Hawks by 28 points. Here's Nigel Carmody. So the Blues, for Camporelli trying to lurch onto it on centre wing. And Beattie attempting to keep it towards the line. Camporelli shoved out and eventually seeing it over the boundary line there for the Blues. Here's Davey, who kicked an electrifying goal earlier. His debut for Carlton today. We'll have a throw in right in front of our commentary position on centre wing. Carlton 9-5, Box Hill 5-1, a 28-point margin here in favour of the Blues, probably against many expectations. Ramsden wins it down. Here's Akers, hands it off to Chesser. Here's Davey again for his second. He loves it from this range, from 49 metres out. He's hooked it to the left, and only a minor score. So the Blues now out to that 29-point margin. 9-6 to 5-1. So it'll be Ryan to bring it back in. Goes short to Perez. He's got it on the right half-back flank. Assessing the options. Bit of a twizzler off the boot and goes straight down the throat of Akers, who takes an uncontested mark. Akers wheels around on the right foot. Sends a floating kick inside the 50. And the mark taken by Perez. So it's going to go back whence it came. Perez has accumulated a little bit of the footy, certainly in the last 20 minutes of that second term, as they were getting peppered, the Hawks. Here's Nan. Hand pass partially smothered. Comes out to McGuinness, who we know is a long kick of the footy. Hands it back to Nan. Slaps it on the boot towards centre wing Ramsden. Well, it was almost a Gaelic-style kick to Julian, who hacks it towards half forward. Deere and Boyd in the race. Boyd wins it first. Paddles it to his own advantage, Boyd. And sees it over the line. But Lasso free kick. We paid here to the Box Hill Hawks to be taken by Deere. Kalsha Deere, hard up against the line. Boyd got a touch to it. Sard appealing for out of the full, but I think the hand contact was made right on the boundary line, so we're going to have a throw in. Pretty much on the attacking 50 here for the Hawks. Schubert lining up at full forward. It looks like McLaughlin's pushed a little bit further up the ground. Deere is also inside that attacking 50. One down by Reedy. Hot footy to be won. Charlson in there, tries to pick it up. Reedy confronted by Anderson. Seen that a couple of times. McGuinness hands it out towards Bianco. Here's Williams for the Blues. Gets a little dinky kick forward. Akers, slight fumble. Ward stripped to the footy by Akers. Well played through traffic. Sweeps the hand pass to Chesser. Tucks it under the arm on centre wing. Hand pass to Logan. 60 metres out. Has to retract back. Ward's got him. Got it out to Chesser, to Akers. They combine well via hand. Charlson hacks it towards half forward with a kick, but it's straight down the throat of Perez, who marks it right half back. So a 29-point margin in favour of the Blues. Perez, low floater off the boot, straight down the throat of Williams. Took it on the half volley pretty well. Drives it long in towards the pocket. Goes over the head of O'Keefe. And bounces out of play for a throw-in 35 metres around from the goal face for the Blues. So Carlton, they really did pepper in quick succession late in that first term to establish their advantage at this end of the ground. Wonder if that'll be replicated here in the third and really blow the Hawks out of the water. Scoring did slow up in the second term. Throw in. Reedy palms it down. Ryan paddles it to his own advantage and then tucks it under the arm. Drilling kick is a good one. Finds Nan at right half back. Goes inboard to Anderson. Good high mark. They work it forward methodically here, the Hawks. Here's Beattie. Between half back and centre wing. Rockets a hand pass out to Nan. Retracts back. Will go onto the left foot and kicks it straight down the throat of Chesser. Called to play on. Hands it back to Ben Camporelli. Now Williams. Low darting kick towards centre half forward. Fogarty a slight fumble. He's a leading position winner on the ground. Sofronides hands it back. Perez hacks it on the boot into the middle of the ground. And Williams takes a courageous mark. He was confronted by Deere, who met him solidly. Boyd remonstrating. And Williams taking a little while to get up. Deere and Boyd still going at it. You can see teammates on the periphery just saying, settle down, fellas. Williams is up on his feet, which is good to see. So Zach Williams, as we know, looking to get back into senior selection. Here's Boyd, chips it to Sard. Sard in the middle of the ground for the Blues. Drives it long on the left foot. Probing kick inside the 50. Reedy in the one-on-one. Couldn't take it. Julian gathering the crumbs. Kicks it high. Leray underneath it. Should take the uncontested mark. Well, he copped a little bit from Akers late. But he did well to hold it. So Leray thought about going inboard with the switch, but goes down the line. One-on-one contest. McLaughlin at the back got the fist in. Comes to ground Davey. Bypasses the traffic and goes onto the right foot towards half forward. Bouncing football inside the 50. Clean ball Boyer. Taps it back to Payer, who can waltz into the open goal, but he's going to get caught. Brilliant tackle. Sofronides was lurking behind, and that could have been a goal-saving tackle. He'll get the free kick on the last line of defence. Goes short to Ryan. He's in the back pocket. Odie Ryan, short pass. Chesser almost took the intercept. Perez, they get out of it, the Hawks. Probably just in the nick of time as well. Kick down the line by Ward towards centre wing. And a good mark in the one-on-one taken by Sabatino. Just backward to centre wing on Kalshadir. Retracts back to Boyd. He's got Williams as an option. He uses him inside defensive 50. Conceding a bit of ground. Goes back towards Sabatino. He's got Chesser running. At left half back for the Blues. Came into this game, 14th spot on the table, goes short. Mark taken there by Rule. Goes inboard, it's a poor kick. He was looking for Saab, fell short of him. Brown takes the mark. Chips it inside the 50. Bit of a hospital one, but it might still work out. Is the mark going to be paid? It is. McLaughlin getting to the front spot. And he does like it from this distance range. Wow. There's a big kick for the Hawks. If they can get the first of the second half, I know it's 7 minutes in, but they're still within striking distance. And this man has been a very good avenue to goal today. Leading the competition coming into this round. He's now got 38 for the season with the 2 so far that he's kicked today. Likes it from the half-forward flank. McLaughlin will wheel around on the right foot from 49 metres out. Holds up a little bit in the breeze. Goes towards full forward. Blues have brought numbers back. Charleston got the hand pass away. He gets it back with the 1-2. And can clear for the Blues. Looks towards Moyer in the one-on-one. Julian did well. Did all the hard work. Just couldn't take the mark. Moyer kept his footing. Tries to attempt to get the hand pass out. Ryan steaming through. Gives the fend off. Now Bianco. Kick inside the 50. Here's McLaughlin again. He'll get a second crack at it. This time a bit closer. About 38 metres out from goal on a 45-degree angle. And that was encouraging for the Hawks because we've seen on so many occasions the Blues transition out of defensive 50 and then work it from one side of the ground to the other with ease. They were able to intercept on centre wing. And McLaughlin, chance to boot his third. He's a bit closer this time. Usually good at absorbing the pressure. From 38 metres out, McLaughlin steers it through, and the Hawks are back. A lovely kick there from McLaughlin from the set shot and the margin back to within 23 points. That's one thing they've been efficient with, the Hawks, so far in this game, their accuracy. 6-1 as the rain, which did abate during half-time. We didn't have any rain during the break, but it's coming back down again. So Reedy wins it down for the Blues. In goes Hogg, tries to slap it clear. Here's Kalshadir. He's wrapped up by Reedy in the tackle. And we'll have a secondary ball up in the middle. So still in the middle here. McGuinness goes off the deck. Anderson on hands and knees. Farrow with the tackle. Comes out to Anderson. Tackled there by Young. Still in the middle of the ground. Anderson. That's his forte, isn't it? just applying the crunching tackle. Forces another stoppage. Just in terms of the leading tacklers on the ground so far, Sam Payer's got 4 under his name for the Blues, as Young affects a tackle. And just in terms of the disposal count as well, Lockie Fogarty with 24. He's had a bevy of clearances as well. Flynn Perez with 19 touches for the Hawks inside that defensive zone. Here's Williams. Just gets a quick kick inside the 50. Julian going back with the flight. Takes a handy mark and a timely one at that. He goes short to Bianco. Former Magpie and Bulldog at VFL level. Of course, played at AFL level for the Pies as well, going back about 4 years ago. Here's Perez, leading ball winner on the ground for the Hawks. Williams on the half volley. Tries to slap it out. Deer in there. Rule with the hand pass. Akers trying to barge his way through Anderson. Gets it out. Akers with a big tackle. McGuinness and Anderson in there. Force a ball up. So we'll have a stoppage in the middle of the ground. Rain starting to increase here. One down by Reedy. Just slaps it forward. Chance now for Julian. Can't quite gather it. Hard with the slippery football. It spills out to Hogg. Hands it off to Akers. 70 metres out from goal. Kick it towards the pocket. Payer in the 2-on-2. He takes the mark. Was it inside the field of play? Yes, it was, according to the umpire. And Payer, who had a stint in defence in the second term, has returned to the forward line. And can line up for yet another major. He's kicked one already. So Payer, very proficient from this distance. He's got a tight angle to contend with. He's curled it round, and it sneaks through for a behind. And only a minor score for the Blues. 4-goal margin, 9-7 to 6-1 here at Box Hill City Oval. It'll be Ryan to bring it back in. It goes long, buying another 10 metres. Deer flies from behind, couldn't take the mark. At ground level, Fogarty almost threw it out, and I think the umpires picked out a free kick for a high tackle. So Fogarty will take it. Leading possession winner on the ground so far. Just forward of centre wing. Congested forward line to work with. He goes long. Where's O'Keefe and co? He flies, couldn't take the mark. Bianco slaps it down. Still a chance for the Blues. Moyer in the pocket. And he shuffles it over along with Putris for a boundary throw-in. So it's deep in the forward pocket here. The Blues leading by 4 goals. Certainly not going in for the kill yet. But they can establish a good advantage through Reedy, who takes it out of the ruck contemptuously and kicks the goal. Liam Reedy, we've seen that before. That's his second. And the margin out to 5 straight kicks. 10-7 to 6-1. Well, it was a little bit shallow, the throw-in. He got to the front spot, took it out, and snapped it round the body like a crummer. He's caked in a bit of mud, but he's got a grim from ear to ear after kicking a goal like that. And that's a real team lifter for the Blues. Not that they needed a significant lift, but, gee, a psychological blow for the Hawks. So we back in the middle. Reedy, his second major. He's done the bulk of the ruck work today for the Blues. Has come down the ground. We know that Henry and also Ramsden have been interchanging from a Hawks point of view. Reedy's had 17 touches. Ramsden with 14 hit-outs. Reedy with 17, so he's just winning that battle at the moment. Back in the middle. Deer now in the ruck for the Hawks. Reedy wins the clearance. Bangs it on the boot. Kicks it inside the 50. Young in the one-on-one. It's fisted clear of him. Nairn chases after it. Gets the hand pass off. Ends up with Putris, is against 2. He tried to take the tackler on, and the umpire says holding the footy. Well done from Chesser. He didn't give up. O'Keefe is working back into the pocket to provide an option. Chesser 60 metres out from goal. He's got Rule as a short option. He's going to go longer. Tries to hit up the hot spot. Well, I think it fell short of the intended target, but a mark has been found anyway, and Prout floating in has taken it amidst the inclement weather. And he can line up from about 40 metres out from goal for his second. He's almost directly in front. The rain increasing in its tempo. And as the rain falls, it's going to be harder and harder to score, and therefore harder and harder for Box Hill to come back into the contest. McGuinness coming back on the ground for the Hawks. A little bit of communication issues between the bench and out on the ground. In the meantime, Prout for his second to make it a 6-goal margin from 45 out. Works it back from right to left superbly. That's his second. And the margin now out to 6 straight kicks. They're going to be difficult to rein in, particularly as the rain continues to fall. So a 6-goal margin. You can sense they're a little bit deflated, the Hawks, at the moment. Kicked a couple in succession, the Blues. Prout, whose output has been pretty good today, to work forward and kick a couple of goals. He'll be pleased with his contribution. He's had 6 touches, so not a massive accumulator, but if he can affect the scoreboard in some positive way, you'd be happy. Back in the middle. O'Keefe up against Deere, won by the former. Pretty convincingly as well. It was worthy a kick towards centre-half forward. Here's Julian on the outside of the boot, trying to clear for the Hawks, but it ends up straight into the lap of Hudson O'Keefe. It's moved into the ruck. Moyer trying to provide an option deep. He'll lead in towards the pocket and just couldn't quite find him. Had the right idea, but didn't have enough leverage on the kick. And it's been intercepted in that back pocket for the Hawks. Ultimately there by Ward, who goes out wide. That's a good mark. Schubert trying to slow things down. Mark taken by McLaughlin. He goes short to Anderson. He chips it in turn. They continue to bring numbers forward to the plate. McGuinness lurking around on centre wing. He's going to drive it forward, the big man. O'Keefe flies, couldn't take the mark. Free kick's been plucked out. It's going the Hawks' way. We take it ultimately by Henry, who finds Schubert in the pocket. And he hasn't troubled the scorers or really the footy too much today. He can make an impact here, Aidan Schubert, to try and get the Hawks back into the contest. He's kicking from a tight angle. We know he's a good impact player. I remember he played against Casey earlier this year, kicked 4 goals in a quarter. Sometimes could go out of the game, but we know he's a project player. To being taken in the draft late last year, as often so many key forwards are. Schubert from a tight angle. The Hawks need it. And he's missed to the right-hand side for a behind. So the margin now back to 35 points, but the rain getting heavier and heavier here at Box Hill City Oval. Williams to bring it back in. Drives it towards centre wing. Hits Payer. Lace out. Payer just backward of right centre wing. Look at the traffic steam forward. He goes inside the 50. Bouncing footy. Gathered well by Moyer. Hands it off to Davey. Breaks the tackle and pops it towards goal, but misses to the left. Oh, he's threatening and lurking, but he just couldn't quite finish. Margin back out to 6 goals. But again, coast to coast. The Blues like to do it that way. They've kicked goals in that sort of fashion already. The Hawks have to be awake to it. Ramsden will be the target here in the one-on-one from the kick out. Falls short. McLaughlin coming up the ground. Made a contest. In goes Harvey. Can't quite pick it up. Chesser. He's gang tackled and will have a ball up. Rain coming in almost sideways at this point. Lights are on here at Box Hill City Oval. Ball up. Ramsden winning it down. Good tackle from Finn McGuinness, who kicked a winning goal pretty much from that spot, maybe a little bit closer against the Cats a couple of years ago. At VFL level, Beattie hands it off to McGuinness. Left foot kick, little one to centre wing, but Boyd in the road. Takes the mark low down like a slip fieldsman. Jordan Boyd will wheel around here on the right foot. Drives it long and deep. Probing towards the top of the goal square. Moyer in the one-on-one. Payer down there as well with Sofronides. Had it spoiled away from his grasp. It was well done from Sofronides. A couple of key defensive efforts so far in this quarter.
Margin at 36 points. Apologies for the hiatus. Beyond my control. 6-2 to 11-8. Ramsden works his way to the front on O'Keefe. Door was left ajar for Prout, but he thumped it in to the padding on the left goal post at the Bolton end. The margin's above 6 goals now. How do Box Hill start generating some scores and to ask some questions of Carlton, who've been in complete control of this game since the 15-minute mark of the opening quarter. Deer's going to set himself and fly. Got over the backside. Scooped it up to Boyd. Box Hill bench wanted a throw, but the umpires were on the blind side of that. Some team tackling from Bianco and Baldwin stopped the Blues at left half forward.
O'Keefe will contest. One down by Ramsden, who wins the clearance as well. Look at that ball hold up in the breeze aerially here. It's always going backwards. Bounced off the chest there of Keller, who got to the front spot. Beattie to Anderson. Try and combine through the corridor via hand. It's in the glue pot. Look at them sliding. It's like a mud patch out there. McGuinness pumps it inside the 50. It's all Carlton across half-back. Sammartino. Spiral punt. And then can he keep it in play? He's got Prout bearing down on him and gets him. The boundary line wins out. They're slipping and sliding all over the place. And we'll have a throw in probably around 75 metres out from the Carlton goal face. The rain continuing to tumble down here at Box Hill City Oval. So throw in again. Hudson O'Keefe doing the bulk of the ruck work much of this quarter so far. Ramsden wins it down. Here's Hogg. Beattie goes in hard, caught one high, and will get the free kick for the Hawks. So Max Beattie taking a pick 12 in the mid-season rookie draft from Woodville West Torrens in the sample. He's going to wheel around on the right foot. Kicks down the line. O'Keefe palms it down to Boyd. Accommodated him well. Prout in the one-on-one, waited out the back and kept his footing. Prout is 49 out from goal. Gets a little kick forward around the corner. Payer sends it high. It's skied across the face. Mark that if you can in these conditions. Hawks have brought the numbers back. They can clear. Putris sweeps the hand pass out, and now Beattie can hand it off for the Hawks.
We're searching for a second goal in the quarter. Deer brought Fogarty to ground in his attempt to corral. LeRae, handball to the paint of 50. Beattie's dribbling ball along the ground and Schubert sees it out. So it's been heavy lifting for the Hawks. We're stuck on 6-2-38, Carlton 11-9-75, 23 minutes into the third quarter. Carlton coming into the weekend 13th and 6-7 on the Smithies VFL ladder. Searching to get things to parity with a second win at Box Hill City Oval from 3 visits. McGuinness emerges. Rules back there, and it was both he and Harvey working in tandem in flight to see it through for a behind. Box Hill's third of the contest, and it's an even 6 goals, Damien.
Yeah, haven't really made too many inroads in this quarter. Saab will get it back from Rule on the last line. He's called to play on. We know he's a powerful kick of the footy. He wants to go for a run. Takes a bounce. I suppose it's audacious to take the conventional bounce in these conditions, but it worked out well for him. Sammartino. Oh, he knew as soon as he kicked it, he didn't make the efficient contact. Sard, little one off the ground. Here's Harvey, off a step. Just rushed the kick a little bit in hindsight and then takes the mark. Just forward of centre wing for the Hawks. They need to apply a bit of scoreboard pressure as we approach the three-quarter time break. Then on the left foot, that's a floater off the boot. Bit of a chaos ball. Sard ran into his own teammate. Allowed a path open for Beattie. Hard up against the line. Beattie goes across the face and it bounces out of play. We'll have a throw in the opposite forward pocket for the Hawks.
2 minutes from the bench, indicative of how long's left, as this rain is the heaviest it has been
at Box Hill City Oval. Not quite Saturday night Hawks Carlton standards, but it's in the vicinity, as is Leray, as is Deer. Left cheek that's painted in mud. Just channeling Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator. And it's the sort of intestinal fortitude the Hawks are going to need from here to make a game of this.
What was the line from Predator? If it bleeds, we can kill it. That's what they got to think.
Kalshadir. Navigate the conditions, kick the goal, and get Box Hill back within 30 points. Deer's got a couple. He and Brodie McLaughlin have done the lion's share of the scoring for Box Hill this afternoon. Deer, of course, play rounds 9 to 11 in defence. Back to his natural habitat this afternoon.
It was a good grab from Deer. Using his physical presence, that's what he's aiming to do inside that 450. Perez up to 23 disposals now. Fogarty is at 25 for the Blues as the leading possession winners on the ground. That's a much needed goal for the Hawks, and all of a sudden it's a little bit more manageable. 5 goals of margin, still a lot of work to do for them. Ramsden palms it down, Hogg in there, Ramsden wins the clearance. Little kick forward, Chesser hands it off to Fogarty. Dances round Ramsden with consummate ease and kicks it long inside the 50. Going back with a flight. Good mark taken there by Julian, who can repel here for the Hawks.
Aggressive kick that finds McInnes, who's getting involved. Beattie, denied by Rule. Let's go slow mo down for Carlton. So it's close enough. There's an option for Rule, but instead he heads long. It's knocked inboard cleverly by Payer. Then puts in the bodywork on Putris, Leray to McInnes. Well, it can't bring rain because we've already got it.
Prout just backward as centre wing. Goes short. Charlson. Centre wing. They're happy to just hold up a little bit of time here, the Blues, and take control. He's going to wheel around on the right foot. Charlson towards the half-forward flank. O'Keefe and Payer are there. Off hands and spills over the boundary line. About 50 out from the Carlton goal. Well, when you think about wins for the Blues so far in this VFL season, if they hold on today to be right up there for them. They've had some good tight victories over the journey as well. Against St Kilda, they smashed the Casey Demons by over 120 points, but they were underdogs coming into today. McInnes, little kick forward, here's Saad, 55 out from goal. Hoists it high towards the top of the goal square. Payers there as a siren sounds, a shorter quarter with the lack of scoring, and Carlton.
Final quarter on the bench. He's been prominent with 3 of their 6, and Kalshadir with a couple has shown some signs. So work to do for Damien Truslove's team to still secure the points and get themselves to 7-7. Lockie Fogarty, there's a strong chance you're going to hear his name on Liston Trophy night to do with this game. He's been magnificent. Ryan intercepts though. And the Hawks move it to halfway. Baldwin picked it up from the Farah kick. And half forward, Payer with the fist. He spent pretty much his entire day at the White Horse Road end of the ground. Forward in the odd quarters, back in the even ones. Leray has had some good moments, as has Perez, who had 15 to half time. He skids it inside 50. Schubert trying to wriggle his way free. Once he got around Sammartino, Zach Williams was waiting for him.
Just hasn't been aided Schubert's day, has it? Struggled to break into the game. Now he's a confidence type of player. He can make a bit of an impact in quick succession though, so tables could still turn. Williams kicks it towards centre wing. Bouncing football and content to see it over the line there for the Hawks. Ultimately to ensure that the rule comes into play was Putris with the lasso. Goes short. Beattie Drills it towards half forward. It's a low darting kick. A bit of an awkward one there for Keller to pick up. And did he get a touch to it? Zach Williams pleading with the umpire saying he didn't, but the umpire in the affirmative saying there was a touch to it and therefore it'll be a throw in. So just outside the attacking 50 here. What can the Hawks muster from this 4A forward? One down by Reedy. Had a couple of good moments in this game. Beattie steals it from the grasp of Akers. Gets the hand pass off. Keller. Good tackle from Williams. And the little kick goes out of the full. He was under pressure. There was Finn McGuinness. It's a hard man to bring down as well. And a chance for the Blues to clear from that right half back position. They've been pretty sturdy for much of the day. It'll be Charlton to do so. He goes down the line. And Ramsden takes the intercept mark for the Hawks.
He has been quite the aerial figure. Schubert in behind. Deere probably had claims on a push if it hadn't been taken by his compatriot. Hayden Schubert, as Damien mentioned, hasn't had the afternoon he would have hoped. Came in, I think, kicked 21-19 for the season. A trio of scoreless or goalless matches, at least in rounds 8, 9 and 10, but he's typically been figuring just the one behind this afternoon from his 8 possessions to date. Just poked at the kick. So Schubert has 2 behinds. Half of that complement the Box Hill have kicked so far.
Right, he didn't quite kick through the footy, did he? He aimed it right to left, which I suppose is the way the breeze is going, but it was a fair way right. Boyd to bring it back in for the Blues. High kick almost to centre wing. O'Keefe flies, couldn't take the mark. At ground level, Davey parks it there to Reedy, who's brought down by Ramsden. There was no prior opportunity there. And it'll be a ball up. Seen a little bit of scuffling between the two sides today. It's been a bit of a pattern. Obviously a fair bit on the line as we get towards the pointy end of the season. Certainly for the Blues looking for a wild card spot. Reedy gets a little kick forward. And Camporelli off the deck. Didn't gain much meterage. Goes back in after it again. Look at him sliding in there like a terrier. In there is Farah. Gets it out. He'll end up with Beattie, who got it from Brown. Beattie, Reedy got him down. Did well with the one hand. He got the hand pass out the back door to McGuinness, who might get it back again with the 1-2. Finn McGuinness brought to ground. It's an illegal disposal. Umpire calling advantage for the Blues. Here's Camporelli on to Charlton. Oh, he caught one heavily there. Ramsden knocked him down. And, well, it's going to be followed up upon now in more ways than one. That was a very heavy hip and shoulder down the middle. Charlton up on his feet, which is good to see.
It is great to see, but he was very vulnerable there. Do not think that the VFL tribunal will look kindly upon that. As good as Max Ramsden's been today, that's just an unfortunate moment where he hasn't executed the task as he should have. Saad retreats as everyone takes a breath at Box Hill City Oval. Payer has it. Lovely Cody Anderson behind him on the ground. Putris to meet it. Ryan. Brown wants to head back into the corridor, and the tackle means the kick heads back wide again. Doing well to muscle his way through. Reedy and co in good style was Keller. Box Hill had their issues connecting inside forward 50, and that was the case there as Henry was let down by the Keller kick. So margin at 29 points. The wind continuing to whistle through Box Hill City Oval with the feels like well below whatever the air temperature's telling us.
It's been a cold week in Melbourne, hasn't it? Continuing today. Throw in. Henry wins it down. Boyd. Fogarty tried to gain control of it. Good tackling from Charlton. Here's McGuinness. Can he set something up? He's kicked it wide and almost onto Whitehorse Road. As it bounces into the path of hopefully not oncoming traffic out there. They've got the spare footy in play. Free kick to the Blues. Sabatino sends a floating spiral punt. Ramsden Approaches with vigour. Ben Camporelli at the fall of the ball. Gives it to Akers, who slung to the turf. Good tackle effected. Ramsden comes in again as a third man on top very vigorously and forces a stoppage.
So almost 7 minutes elapsed in Box Hill's quest to mow down the Blues, who've led by as much as 6 goals. Akers tackled by McGuinness. No way out for Finn from the Ben Camporelli tackle. Ramsden tapped it down to Ben. Got the clearing ball. Back with a flight. Strong mark. Griff Julian continuing his good showing of late. Even better. He's got it to Keller. Jordan Boyd. He's frozen in every sense, standing the mark at 47. The handoff. It's Perez. Misses to the right-hand side, so flying shot from Flynn Perez misses. He makes his return to VFL action this afternoon.
Former Kangaroo, of course. Chesser, that's a good mark on the outer side. He was caught behind Leray and still managed to judge the ball in flight pretty well. Kick to centre wing, Boyd takes it on the chest. Jordan Boyd covered a lot of territory today, going from end to end. Goes towards half forward, Young in space. Kicked a couple of crafty goals with the snap. A bit too far out to score here. He's waiting for the traffic to pass by. Young pokes it towards Akers, who takes the mark uncontested. And this could be a real psychological blow in the context of this game. Akers to line up from 35 out and put Carlton in front on what would be a margin of 34 points. Looks like he's going to go around the corner, by the way he's motioning here, unless he's just getting the ball to dry. This is a big kick, because it's going to be a long way back for the Hawks if he can kick this one. Akers takes a breath. We'll go with a conventional drop punt to make it really, really difficult for the Hawks. It's across the face of goal. O'Keefe flies at the opposite pocket. Off hands and over for a boundary throw in. The rain for the moment, Nige, has abated, but that may not last long the way things have been going today.
Yeah, we've got a grey roof to our west, looking towards the city. Carlton are almost there. Reedy, Moyer almost flashed through in Flynn Young style. Bianco gets the clearing kick forward. Sart got a couple of studs in the way of Cal Shadir. The handball though goes the wrong way. Collateral damage between Paya and Keller as Leray marks out of wing. Beatty inboard. Several draftees from Central Districts last year. Anderson was flashed high by Boyd. Cody Anderson kicking a goal for the Hawks to this end of the ground in the second quarter. Gentleman in the high vis in the background enjoying having that grandstand, so to speak, to himself. Anderson's long kick, breached the line, foot in Ramsden, no foot on it, Nan. Rule wants one thing and one thing only, and that's to rush it through. They're doing it in singles, the Hawks, but they need majors in a hurry. 7-6 to 11-9.
With a lack of scoring, it could be a shorter quarter as well. We start to bring it back in for the Blues. They lead it by 27. They're content to just really dictate the tempo of the game. Goes short to Paya. In the back pocket, he's gone from end to end at various stages today. He's got that flexibility, kicks down the line. O'Keefe has it spoiled away. And Putris, well, he's got a cult following here at the ground, the big man, and he got the spoil in. Forced it out. Tim McGuinness receiving a bit of treatment right in front of us here. Groin area. Another throw in. 70 metres around from the goal face for the Hawks. Bit of jumper tugging there between Ramsden and Reedy. Umpire letting it go. Hogg had it dispossessed from him by Ryan, who charged forward with conviction. Tries to get the hand pass away towards Bianco. Can't get his foot to the ball. Hogg out the back door was clever. To Young, to Akers. 70 from home. Drills it inside the 50. And Moyer takes the mark. He's got O'Keefe running towards full forward. He thought about going over the top. He does so now. O'Keefe in the one-on-one. Strong mark. Well, how often have we seen that today, Nige? The quick transition off half-back, and there's plenty of space to work with inside the 450 for the Blues. Hudson O'Keefe. He's had a couple of stints in the ruck today. He's kicked a couple of goals as well in the forward line. A little bit of a cross breeze to contend with here, but if he kicks this, you almost have to say sayonara with the way the game has been played. O'Keefe from 38, shanked it, and it sneaks in for a behind.
Did his damage early this afternoon, Hudson O'Keefe, with a couple of opening quarter majors. He's had 9 hitouts. Liam Reedy's done the majority of the ruck work for the Blues with 20. Max Ramsden's had 22. Might not play any footy for a while. Bianco, he sold Julian into trouble. The Blues have got out numbers and numbers forward. Moyer couldn't quite connect with Cotter. Bianco funnels it out to Putris as the rain intensifies again, and that ball's going only one place. Skids out. They've had the heftiest zephyr of the afternoon behind it, and fresh wet ground as well. Harvey, Lucas Campriali.
They just play chip pass at the moment, you reckon, Nige?
Oh, nothing wrong with taking 60 to 90 seconds off the clock and getting it to the 15-minute mark. Damien, they've got control on the scoreboard, and Box Hill haven't been able to ask any of those questions. They might get one here, though, because Akers coughs it up. Anderson to McGuinness, Henry. Akers had to put the hard hat on and clean things up. Clean it up, he did.
Chesser went down the line. He might get it back here, Campbell Chesser. He's trying to nudge his opponent out of the one-on-one as support through Rule. Loops it over the top. Akers, who's done a body of work in this final term so far. There's a linkage player in the midfield. He forces the one-on-one. We'll wait on the umpire's call. He's called for a stoppage. Hawks players wanted a free kick. As the rain continues to tumble down here at Box Hill City Oval. A little bit of a cross breeze as well to contend with. This will suit the Blues just fine. We've got the advantage on the scoreboard, and a significant one at that. Chesser gains a spillage, hands it back to Sard. Hoists it high. Mark that if you can. Julian tried to. Moyer hands it off. Here's a chance for Young on the burst. Unguarded square. Bouncing footy. Trickles through for a goal. Could that be the killer blow? Young's got his third. He's kicked a couple of snaps, and that one from long range with the open 50 beckoning. Sees that one skid through. And it's difficult to see the Hawks coming back from here now.
Third time Flynn Young's kicked 3 in the VFL this season. Rugby Premiership player in 2024. So, margin at 34 points.
He is a long kick of the footy as well as being a crafty snapper around the body. I remember a game against Sandringham. He kicked 2 from outside 65 metres with the breeze out there at Trevor Barker Beach Oval.
48 VFL goals in his time. Charlton, been a good weekend for the family. Lockie with 3 goals yesterday for Werribee in their win over the Saints. Inside 50 go the Hawks. McLaughlin claims on a free. Payer picked it up. It's considered a kick as Anderson gloved it. That was a good kick in the conditions. Nan, central ball. LeRae leaves it for Ryan. He was stripped in the hog tackle. Charlton with a grubbing kick. Brown, LeRae goes distributing. Keller's kick. Beattie stayed afloat. Anderson's got power. And some precision to go with it too. Cody Anderson has a couple. He joins Brodie McLaughlin and Cal Shadir as multiple goal kickers for the Hawks. They've only had the 4 goal kickers from their 8 so far, but the quick answer back to the Flynn Young goal. It'd take something pretty crazy from here, but 28 points keeps the Hawks afloat.
Well, they'll have to fashion something remarkable because the rain is pelting down. This would be the heaviest downpour we've had for the day. It's almost blowing in sideways. And I suppose they did belie the conditions in forcing it forward and crafting a goal pretty quickly. They need more of it. 28 points the margin. We've gone 17 minutes in this final term. Back in the middle. Can that be an igniter for the Hawks? Ramsden hands it off. McGuinness. So he slipped over pretty awkwardly as he got the kick away. But the Hawks have the chance to work it forward. Intercepted by Charlton. Did well through traffic. Hands it off. Ben Cambriali over the top. Well done there from Gresham. Hands it off. Hogg drills it towards half forward. Good mark on the slide there by Young. We know he's a long kick of the footy. Waits for a couple of leads. He's going to go retract back to Chesser. Now they've got a few options. Inside that attacking 50, O'Keefe is making his way down there. He wants it long. Chesser looks in that direction. Goes high, the pack converges. O'Keefe couldn't quite take the mark. Hogg at the full of the ball, hands it off. Snap around the body towards goal from Akers. He's going to be marked on the line. Well done there from Bianco, and he can clear for the Hawks.
Nan's the hit up. Julian had Sofronides at half-back, but heads for Ramsden off his hands. Meeting at Payer, treating it like a dry ball. Davey got the tongue of the boot in, as did Hogg, but only as far as Putris. Fair catch, Chesser. Carlton can go through their gears. Sard. He's got Gresham in space. He's involved in a couple of big hits in the opening quarter. He's been able to recover and be involved. Wide kick and nice work from Putris just to take the pressure out of the kick and take the mark. He heads back for Bianco.
On the last line, they've got to take a few risks here. The Hawks. Schubert coming a long way up the ground, takes the mark, wanting to get his hands on the footy. Chips it short. Julian going back with the fly. It was a bit awkward for him, but it bounces obligingly for him. Hands it off to Anderson from 52. Set sail for home. Misses to the left. Gee, it was an encouraging build-up, and if he had kicked that one, maybe, just maybe, the door would have been further ajar for them. 27 points the margin in favour of the Blues. It'll be Boyd to bring it back into play.
Blues have a bye in the VFL next weekend. Collingwood at AFL level on Saturday night. Boyd's kick for O'Keefe. The front, Davey. Classy return this afternoon. Lane Ward shrugged the Gresham tackle, got it to Schubert, who finds Beattie. Calls for something in the leading lane, had it from McLaughlin instead. Ducking to the other side was Keller, who can calm himself down, go back, try and kick this. And 21 points, 21-minute mark. We'll just start to invade the Blues a bit psychologically.
Taking his time as well. I know obviously time can be at the essence, but important that he nails it, particularly in the wet conditions. You've got to go through your routine.
It's a goal against the Giants, round 14. He's kicked a goal against the Blues a fortnight later. Box Hill haven't been within 21 points for a while. Pretty simple in these conditions if they can have some clearance dominance out of the middle. They can press their claims. Got to go back to the early part of the second quarter for the last time they've been this close.
21 minutes gone. Is there time? Managed to craft, ironically enough, a couple of goals in quick succession in probably the worst conditions of the day. Back in the middle. Henry wins it down. In goes Fogarty. Cluster of players around this football. Prout is in there. McGuinness emerges. Kick partially smothered. Ricochets back. Another smother. That came off the head of Blakers off Nan's kick. Off the ground. Kick towards Young and Sofronides, and the boundary line beats all comers. The Blues just need to absorb the pressure. They lead it by 21 points. They came into the game as underdogs, and if they hold on and win, probably one of the more telling wins so far this season for them. They've had some big ones. They've had some tight ones. They've had some big losses too. Throw in. Reedy maybe slightly won it down. Fogarty happy to lock this one up. Lakers at the base of the pack. It comes out. Sweeping hand pass from Ward. McGuinness, he's a strong player. Slaps it forward. Was it in the back there against Boyd? I think it was. It'll be Keller to take it just forward of centre wing for the Hawks.
Most recent goal kicker in the game. He'll take Boyd on. Will pivot back to his right foot. Deer can fly. Payer claims the mark and was paid it. Terrific grab. Regardless of the conditions, but only enhances the degree of difficulty. He will give it back though. Sofronides playing his customary interceptor role. Sends that kick even higher. It was Deer coming through as McLaughlin provided a bit of a shield. So a forward 50 stoppage for Box Hill. Margin 21, clock at 23.
Taking a while to pick themselves up.
Who can get creative here for the Hawks? Is it Beattie? He's got Akers standing him. Deer went boot rather than hand. Low to the ground, Gresham. Charlson. Camporeale dealt with as he kicked. It was late. Anderson gives away the free.
Much to his chagrin. And it's downfield for the Blues. It'll be Moyer to take it. He's come a fair way up the ground. He's trying to get into the game. He's got it at right half back for the Blues. Rain continuing to team down. He'll soak up the seconds in more ways than one. Kicks it towards centre wing. Akers the target. Well done from Butris. Getting the fist in. We'll have a throw in. True centre wing here right in front of our broadcast position. The Blues by 21 points. 12-10 to 9-7. We've ticked over the 24-minute mark of this final term. Well, the Blues, can this be a real igniter for them as we head towards the run home in season 2026? Looking to make it 2 wins in a row after their win over Richmond. Reedy palms it down. Lucas Camporeale sends it out to Akers. Schubert gets a little kick forward. He's pushed his way up the ground in this last term, getting a couple of touches. Charlson emerges from the gloom, gets it out to Hogg, feeds it off to Sard. We know he's a game breaker. Gives a hand pass off. Young is a long kick of the footy. This is no exception. O'Keefe for the one-on-one. Couldn't quite take it. He gains it in the pocket, finds the safety of the boundary line, and it'll be a throw in deep in the forward pocket for the Blues.
We've managed the minutes since the Calla goal well. 4 eroding off the clock. We've managed the game well since quarter time. Led by 29 points at that stage, 6-5 to 2 straight. It's been pretty much even Stevens thereafter. Both teams kicking 3 goals in the third. 3 goals in the second, 2 in the third. It's been 2 goals to 1 in the last. Super finish from Flynn Young. His third of the afternoon has been the Blues' sole goal so far, and it was almost Akers putting the full stop on proceedings. It hits the post low down. Margins at 22. Blake Akers close to 30 possessions on his return this afternoon.
He's looked good as well, evading traffic. He's been a good linkage player across the centre line as well for the Blues. Well, they're going to go for broke now, the Hawks. Here's Anderson. Drives it long towards half forward. Where are the marking options? Waiting at the back there was Ryan, who's come forward. Sabatino's kick partially smothered. Ryan tries to retrieve it. Schubert waiting around the pack. He's lurking more centrally and holding the footy called for the umpire. There were a sea of bodies on top of it. It's going to be a Carlton free kick. Be a raffle between them, I think, as well. Taken by Sabatino by the looks of it. Pick himself up slowly and slow the play down to Sard. And it could well be keepings off for the next 2 minutes. Sard has got Rule short. Intimated he wanted to go short, but Rule wants him to go long, so he does just that. Kick by Sard towards centre wing. Reedy palms it down. Boyd tries to keep it in. He's got a touch to it, I think, so it'll be a throw in. What's happening here? The umpire...
Trent Bianco kicked it away.
Yep.
And it's a free kick to the Blues.
Well, undisciplined there. Boyd has got it on the outer side here for the Blues.
And as we're right at the tail end of this one, the wind and the rain has nicked off, at least momentarily. Hudson O'Keefe. He can hit the showers happy with his work. Big opening quarter helped set things up for Carlton, who even without Flynn Riley, Reedy and O'Keefe have been outstanding contributors, as has Alwyn Davey Jr. on his VFL return. That balance is maybe where Carlton can make a run in the Smithies VFL in the last third of the season. Got the creative talls and smalls. Logan amongst them, but it misses. So, as good as a 4-goal lead for Carlton.
Well, Logan had a really good first half, particularly across centre wing. Also contributed on the scoreboard as well. Here's Akers slapping it forward. Hogg just held it off the ground. Out of mid-air, kicked by Julian into the middle of the ground. Davey, it bounced in the glue pot successfully. Ryan, sweeping hand pass over the top. Deer gathers it well, kick partially smothered. The umpire will call play on as it goes in towards the pocket. Nan will see it over the boundary line in front of the Brethren here at Box Hill City Oval. They've got the umbrellas out. We've got a throw in deep at the 4 pocket for the Hawks. Get the sense it's too little too late. 23 points the margin. We've gone almost 29 minutes in this final term. Momentous performance from the Blues. It's one of the top 4 sides of the competition. Spills out. Keller around the corner. There's the siren. A big victory in the context of the season for Carlton at VFL level. They claim a 23-point win in the wet against the Box Hill Hawks. 12-12-84 to 9-7-61. And that could be a good foundation for their run home. Impressive performance there from Carlton. They shared it around in terms of the goal scoring. Flynn Young with a few. Prout booted 2. O'Keefe with a couple. Liam Reedy with a couple of crafty goals. Davey in his...